God. Did one of your biking buddies drink his liver away?
No, it's one of the Dota guys.
Mm. We have an intro splash now?
We've had it for a while. It just never gets used.
Welcome to the CouncilCast. This is episode 212, being recorded on June 14th, 2022. The council is now in session, and as with every week, we will make arbitrary decisions about topics on science, technology, and random shit.
Random shit.
I wondered who was going to do it. With a little background and next to no expertise. It's sped up, so now I feel like I should talk faster.
Yeah, why do I keep
All
hearing
CouncilCast decisions are final and no bearing on anything whatsoever.
It's just like one of those like warnings at the end of a commercial.
No substitutions.
I hope for anybody who is listening to this faster than 1x is like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I'm confused.
I think that it was just like the internet was lagging a little bit with it, and it wasn't happy about it. So.
Oh, so you weren't changing it with like a speed wheel? It was the internet doing it. Interesting.
Well, you know, something that isn't quite that interesting is getting your liver replaced. But apparently that's not any fun. But it's okay. Most people don't have to do it. And as a matter of fact, you really are only as old as your liver is, because most people's livers are actually just 3 years old.
Tell me more about that.
Like it gets
So is
replaced
this like
a lot.
this thing where the cells get replaced?
Basically, the cells they replace themselves often enough that they tend to in your liver get replaced every 3 years. So they apparently were doing some radiocarbon dating of people's livers for some reason, I guess. And apparently that's how they figured it out. So your liver, which is already known to be a hardy and fast healing organ, because it has to deal with a whole bunch of shit that you put through it, apparently just decided instead of needing to be replaced, it just renews itself.
So are they going to be able to use that information to teach my other organs to be more regenerative so I can be 3, like my entire person?
I think so.
Like my heart, my lungs, my bladder. Oh man.
I mean, I can't
Does
believe
your bladder often need replacing?
My bladder, according to my family history, is eventually going to give out in a way that I'm not going to be happy about. And I would like.
So your bladder won't be able to hold stuff, and it just go whoosh straight through.
Just go straight through.
Just go whoosh, just like that.
Better invest in Depends.
Oh no, you know what? It's my prostate. That's the one that I would like to stay 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'll be fine as long as the prostate doesn't get in the way.
That might work in the opposite way. Maybe if your prostate grew too big and at the same time that your bladder gave out, then it just is like normal.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to have happen. Oh, good. What are those what are those commercials where the guy was like, I use insulin to control my diabetes. That diabetes guy. Who's that
Diabetes.
Diabetes. There it is.
Check your blood sugar and check it often.
Yeah.
Diabetes.
There's some comedian was like, yeah, well, I use diabetes to control my insulin problem. It's like, I don't think that works like that, but okay.
Sure. I guess why not?
I use my swollen prostate to control my bladder control issues. Oh boy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess this would be pretty sweet if they could figure out how to make other organs live in the same way. But I'm not sure I would want everything to work that way. I'm just trying to figure out how that might work for like things that,
like your brain.
Yes.
Like 3-year-old brain forever.
I never grew older. I'm just 3
No,
years
you
old.
would grow older though. Like it would just be like you would be learning.
My
at
body
such a,
would
like,
grow older.
Your
I
body
would
would
just
grow older,
never.
but your brain is just learning so fast, constantly picking up new skills. You'd be like, I learned how to play the fiddle at expert level today. I'd
For
never
the
touched
5th
it
time.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of an interesting thing. I guess good for them for figuring this out. So thumbs up on that.
Yeah. Thumbs up for science.
I'm not really sure what else they're gonna do with it, but maybe what they could do is replace livers with super absorbent gel that apparently can pull fresh water out of thin air. So how often are you
Fetched it
stuck in a
right out of the
desert and
air.
you're like, hey, I'm really thirsty, and there's like no water around? Well, turns out there
All the
is
time.
water around. It's just in the air.
They already make this shit. It comes in those bags you hang. To like get rid of, it's like the shitty dehumidifiers or these like turbocharged versions.
Basic turbocharged
Speaking
version.
of which, I need to go plug in our dehumidifier. It's ridiculous right now.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing, but so much better. Where apparently they say that 1 kilogram of this gel can theoretically produce 6 liters of water out of a 15% relative humidity air.
How
That's
quick
a
does
lot.
it pull?
72 hours.
I'm not. It doesn't say, so I'm just going to assume in a day.
No, once set and dried, the thin
Nah.
Oh no,
gel
here.
sheets.
Yeah,
There.
20 minutes. It says
Uh,
20 minutes.
That's pretty good.
The only problem
So-
is you can't
so
just
how-
squeeze it out. You have to heat up the gel to release the liquid.
So it's a thin sheet that pulls the moisture out of it. How heavy is this sheet? Like, because it says 1 kilogram can produce 6 liters. If this is like, I don't know, what's a metric small metric
Kilogram.
unit?
What do you mean? A small metric unit? A gram?
Or like, how many grams
A
are these?
microgram if you're dropping LSD.
Yeah. How many grams are these?
1,000
like
grams. It's a kilogram.
Yeah, but how many grams are these sheets? Like, is this sheet an entire
Yeah,
kilogram?
but what's that in normal math?
Yeah, how many pounds?
What's that in freedom units?
How
How many McChickens is that?
I think they are talking about this could be a sheet that is exactly 1 kilogram. I mean, you could make it as big as you wanted. I mean, kilogram's only like 2 pounds, so it's not very much. Oh, it sounds like they actually were using sheets or gel that was milligrams. So they extrapolated the results up to kilograms.
Okay, so you've got a massive size issue at this point. Like, how many of these sheets do you need to like get an actual decent amount?
So, well,
Well,
okay,
it
so
doesn't
here
matter.
they go.
You have to boil the water first, and
They
then you
said-
have to wait hours for it to cool down, unless you have ice cubes. And if you have ice cubes,
And
then why are
if
you
the
doing this? In the
and
desert, just let the ice cubes melt, and then you can drink those.
like
So they said that
a milligram
the
of gel,
sheets.
like, does it scale? Do they know if it scales well?
So what they said is that the very thin films that they used that were milligrams in weight were 0.01 centimeters thick. And they said that they haven't tested it. They said that they believe they can build these into larger blocks, but they haven't actually tested that design yet.
Okay, so say you've got a kilogram of these and it takes up a space like, I don't know, this big.
I'm gonna say like a foot square, maybe.
A foot square. Like, do the ones in the center have much lower efficiency because the ones on the outside have pulled out the
I would assume
water
so.
in like the localized area? How, like, I feel like this saying 1 kilogram can get 6 liters of water in 20 minutes is very aggressive with their estimates estimates?
I would rather see, I guess instead of building it into a block, maybe they could just build it into like a sheet that gets folded into a block. So kind of like a radiator. So you still have
Yeah.
all the surface area, but it's spaced out. It's not compressed to fight what you're talking about. I think it would have to be like that.
Why
Uh,
don't they just get and like I know this is like for survival stuff, or is this for like helping areas that are struggling to get clean water to have clean water? Like, what's the intended purpose for this?
I think more for I think a little bit of both. I think probably more for they say freshwater generation in ultra dry climates. So
Hmm.
probably for
why
places
are you
where
living in ultra dry climates?
And
have you
why
met
not
anybody
just,
who lives in Arizona?
why don't they just ship them cans of dehydrated water?
Ah, perfect. Just add water.
Yeah, just add
Just
water.
a-
You've got more water.
Perfect.
You just throw it in the hydrator. Back to the Future. Wow, Grandma,
Just
you sure do know how to hydrate a pizza.
I think most likely the reason for it is because of the whole, you're starting to see people talk about lakes and water reservoirs drying up. So, um, all that water's going somewhere. So I think people are like, hey, it's in the air. Let's just steal it from the air.
I
Maybe there will be like water purification factories somewhere that just have mounds of this stuff.
Whatever happened to that 5-hour energy drink guy? His plan to they essentially built giant water purification systems that, well, not giant, like probably two of them could fit in this room. It'd be a tight fit, but that's about the size of them. Those things were supposed to be able to take salt water and turn it into clean drinking water in no time. And he said, our plan is to build barges out in the ocean that we can run essentially a giant hose into the mainland and have a barge filled with tons of these and provide clean drinking water to any area that needs it. Was he just like making a documentary to make himself look cool?
probably.
I,
So here's
I
an
just
idea.
Googled
Like,
this, and I think you're right. He invested in a company that's doing that.
And they're just not making enough headway, or is it, they probably can do it? It's just probably like astronomically expensive at this point, and they're probably just spending the next decade trying to figure out how to make it affordable to do.
I mean, I don't think. I mean, honestly, I think one of the biggest problems is shipping that water from the middle of the ocean or wherever this thing is to wherever it needs to go is probably more expensive than just making the water in the first place.
so why? I mean, you still have to get the water hot. So why not just use a dehumidifier? Like you're
It's true. I mean, that's
Just-
I mean, that's essentially what it. I
like
mean, but
they're
this
Yes.
doesn't, from a survival standpoint, this doesn't require you to need electricity.
so you're saying not everybody just hauls their Ford Lightning around? What are these people, poor?
Yes.
You can plug in a dehumidifier to a Ford Lightning and run it off it. Be perfectly fine. Then you can use solar to recharge. So what's the
Who
problem
said you
here?
need electricity to heat something up? I mean, why can't you just build a fire?
No, a dehumidifier.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm using
You
a
can also
dehumidifier.
use what's the tactic where you build a lean-to and you collect raindrops off of that, or like moisture. What's the lean-to method?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, I know what you're talking about, but I didn't know that it had a name. Let me put it that way. Right.
I mean,
Yeah. So
we could also just build a bunch of wind traps like the Fremen.
Oh, here it is. Show you. Here, I'll just show
A
my
water
screen really
witch?
quick. There you go. This is how they should collect the water.
A divining rod.
Super easy. You can make them out of just about anything.
Out there witching for water.
I think this is I'm going to give this one a thumbs up, because I think to reduce humidity, this would be a good option. I don't care about getting fresh water, just reducing humidity.
Well, I mean, this is for super low humidity environments. If it's humid already, then it's just maybe more efficient.
yeah, I mean, how much humidity could it lower in my house if I use this in my dehumidifier? How much faster could it do it?
Good question. We're gonna let the viewers do the maths on this one and get back to us next week.
If you have an
back to us
answer
next
for
week.
how this might work, email us at CouncilCast, or I don't care at councilcast.org.
Is anyone checking? Are you watching right now? Do we have anyone watching us?
No. We do not, but that's okay because we may eventually have 1.1 quintillion viewers, which would be equivalent to the operations per second that the US's fastest supercomputer just used to become the fastest supercomputer in the world.
That's a lot of
Okay.
things.
How many songs could I torrent
0.
at a time using this computer? How many songs could
0.
I rip torrent?
I mean, if you'd be limited by your download speed.
Okay.
This thing's
songs
not
could I
connected
allow
to the
this-
internet, so
How many
0.
songs could I allow this computer to write on its own using AI at a time?
At least
Pro-
one.
Sorted. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, no. Apparently, the U.S. has not had the number one fastest supercomputer for a little bit, I think, but this is now the world's fastest computer based on the latest HPE Cray EX235A architecture, which uses AMD EPYC processors. It apparently has a total of 8,730,112 cores.
I thought the punchline was going to be that it was going to be Apple Silicon.
Nope.
Well, now I'm not interested anymore. Next.
Yeah, so this is the we just took over. We beat China, who apparently was the first one to get over an exaflop of processing power. So this is now number 1.
But
so what is this going to allow us to do?
Yeah, what is this going to like? And also, how fast is that?
It's being used for weather stuff.
So it's able to not predict the weather.
It's even better at predicting the wrong weather.
Oh wow, that's pretty fast stuff.
Sounds like a lot of research projects they can run on it.
Department of Energy owns it.
What I want to know is if I hooked Premiere Pro up to this, would it still crash?
Yes.
Probably. Because it's not running Mac.
And it's not GPU.
No,
Like
it's just processors, CPUs.
It does have 37,632 of AMD's Instinct GPUs.
So so what you're telling me is that if Premiere Pro wasn't a single core processor, it might actually.
These don't have any display out though. They are just
okay.
for calculation.
That's okay
Well,
though. For what Silas is doing, that's okay.
Yeah. For video work, we don't need to see it. Especially with
Just
a
let-
computer that can calculate that many things.
Yeah,
it'll
just let the
figure out
AI
what it's
handle it.
supposed to look like.
It'll just beam
Well,
it straight
perfect.
into your brain.
Thumbs up. Where can I get one? Get one for the whole crew.
They don't talk. I don't see. I didn't see. Oh, here they. I guess they don't talk about how much this specific computer costs, but the DOE is funding 2 exascale supercomputers for a total cost of $1.8 billion. So
Will be used to model the entire lifespan of a nuclear reactor, uncover disease genetics, and build on recent developments in science and technology and random shit to further integrate artificial intelligence with data analytics.
I'm going to say thumbs down in this one because it cannot generate better CouncilCast topics than we can.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs down because it's not Apple.
It's because Apple doesn't do anything in this scale because it would suck.
Just think about if they had a bunch of Apple Silicon ARM processors.
Well, speaking of Apple and the M1 processors, that's so last year because Apple has now come out with the new M2 chip, and you can only get it in the new MacBook Air, which is
It looks pretty
completely
dope.
redesigned.
Yeah. Now instead of folding this way, it folds this way.
Holy shit. That is the most like ingenious thing that has ever happened.
It's the
But
exact-
and it only costs you $200 more
Amazing.
because the M1 Air still exists, but is still the same price as it was last year. And they just increased the
So-
price on the M2.
You know, I
vintage, yeah.
actually do kind of like the design of the new MacBook Air. You know, it's not that
Yeah,
wedge
I'm
shape
not gonna
anymore.
lie. I mildly regret picking up my MacBook Pro.
I mean, this honestly
I
is like
knew
the first
I fucking
MacBook
knew I should have waited.
too
Here's
And
the
I
soon.
thing, though,
didn't.
your MacBook Pro still is going to hold like 90% of its value at this point because it takes so long to buy one. You could go sell it on eBay right now, and people pay close to, if not the exact full price of it.
Yeah, I
because they
mean,
go,
so I could go sell it and basically
"Oh, great, I don't have to wait,
I
I'll
could
pay for it."
basically downgrade to the Air and make $1,000. Like the Air is exactly what I would have wanted out of a machine, basically.
Yeah, I mean this
Yeah, it's
this is
pretty
probably
sweet.
the first Apple laptop in a while that I've been like, I actually would probably buy this. But Apple
The
claims that the M2
speakers aren't gonna be as
processor.
good, but
I don't care about that.
yeah.
They claim
what was good?
18% better performance over the M1.
Mm. And it has a 1080p camera finally, and 2 Thunderbolt ports.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
so like
MagSafe.
the new MacBook Pro, the 13-inch, is in a really weird spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's
the
always
A-
been in a
Everyone's
weird
asking
spot.
why is it there? Yeah.
Like for $100 cheaper, you can get the Air, which won't boost like the clocks. It'll be a little bit slower just because there's no fan in it, but
Mhm.
it's MagSafe. You got the better
Mhm.
camera. You've got the same screen, same design as the MacBook Pro.
You can get it
Basically
in
better
midnight or
everything.
space gray.
And it's $100 less, and it's like why?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get
better
almost-
battery life out of the Pro.
Yeah, you get longer battery. You get a bigger
Slightly,
battery
yeah.
on the MacBook Pro. But otherwise,
You also get a touch
You
bar
also-
on the MacBook
You also
Pro.
get the better
4B.
processor over the M2 because the
No, they both
13
get.
well, the
They both get
13
an
Pro,
M2.
But it's a 8-core GPU versus 10-core in the Pro. But
What?
if you're
Not
buying
according
the
to Apple's
base
website.
level,
Oh,
Pro.
up to. I see what you're saying.
if you're buying the base level Pro, you just get an Air.
Yeah. That
And
makes
you
sense.
can even put the 24 gigs of RAM in the Air now, if you want. Yeah.
let me see. What could I do here? 8-core. Oh, you can do 24.
And that was the big thing with the Air last gen.
24
is
gigs of unified memory
You couldn't.
on the Pro.
It was limited on memory, and people were like, "Just let me put the more memory in it."
Yeah. Nope, they won't do it because you get a bigger screen for that.
Although MK said
BHD.
that the midnight really attracts fingerprints, even with
It's
like
not
the 5 minutes you
surprising.
spent with it. So it's worthless. It's trash. Don't get the midnight.
I would not
I
buy
love
that one anyway.
MKBHD. I love his reviews because I'm always like, oh man, he's got such a great channel. I'm gonna go learn something great. And he's always like, here's what I like about the design of it. It functions pretty good in these ways. I'm not gonna do any hard bench tests because there are 1,000 other channels that are doing that. I'm just gonna tell you that, for what I'm doing, it works pretty good. Oh wow, you know what? I want to buy one of those now. MKBHD said he likes it.
And then he makes all the fucking money.
He is very smart.
Even his reviews are pretty, from a technical standpoint, are bad because they are very often error prone. But his
Doesn't matter, he has
production
1 million
quality is
subscribers.
insane.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's got that new gimbaled
It does-
camera. He's got the robotic arm camera to do
Oh, yeah.
like all of the moving shots. They're super nice.
I want one of those so bad. I was working for a company one time where they were like, all right, put together your dream list. Here's our budget. And I was like, oh man, with that budget, we could get this robot arm. And I was like, hey, we should get this. Like it would be amazing and it would be super useful. And like we could get so much so much mileage out of it. And they're like, no, it seems like a really big purchase. And I was like, your budget is huge. They're like, oh, this just seems pretty risky. Would we even use that? I was like, okay, whatever.
I have so many cool shots that you could use with it. It would be incredible.
It'd be incredible. It's every single time I watch that, I'm like, okay, it probably took them all afternoon to get that set up, but then the shot was perfect. It would have taken me all afternoon to get something that I hated, and then I would have just thrown my hands in the air and said, I guess we're not doing this project anymore. So without the robot arm. Yeah. Well, who's gonna buy it here?
I give it a thumbs up. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed. I kind of like the way that it looks, and the performance looks pretty nice. I probably won't buy one, but I still give it a thumbs up.
I still want to see what they're going to do with the Mac Pro.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about the Mac Pro. I will give this a thumbs up though, because thumbs up for Apple.
Well, something that doesn't come from Apple is bees, and if you didn't know, bees can now be classified as fish.
Yes. I've been wanting that for years.
Apparently a California judge has apparently ruled that bees, as in the little insects that fly around your garden, can now be classified as fish.
What? Why? There are so many more important things. Like I don't even care why the verdict was necessary, but ugh.
So it sounds so. I read through the article, surprisingly, and there is a logical reasoning for this, but I think the outcome is just there's got to be a better way. But the result is basically bees in California cannot be added to the Endangered Species Act because they are not they are not invertebrates.
In 2020, a court ruled that the Fish and Game Commission could not list invertebrates under the Endangered Species Act.
So this is a weird ruling, making it
to go around that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like,
instead of undoing the old ruling, they basically made a new one that classifies an insect as a fish.
Blub, blub.
So somebody probably high on on LSD or something, like, how can we take the definition of a fish and apply it to a bee so that we can take this to a judge to say, hey, this thing is a fish and therefore can be classified as we can protect it under the act.
No, this is more of a beer conversation, like 10 beers in conversation.
So here's how apparently here's how the California Fish and Game Code defines fish. Fish is now defined as a wild fish, mollusk, crustacean, invertebrate, amphibian, or part, spawn, or ovum of any of these animals. So apparently, based on that definition, they can now say that a bee can legally be classified as a fish because they're invertebrate.
So basically, the 2020 ruling that says you can't list invertebrates, but invertebrates can be listed as fish, and fish
Yep.
can be protected.
Yes. Genius.
So what was the point of the 2020 ruling? Like, what were they trying to prevent or clarify?
Well, and that's why I say that the outcome here is like completely like, why wouldn't you just gone back and tried to solve what was originally the ruling in 2020 was for?
Because law.
Because law.
Science.
So the definition of fish is defined in the Fish and Game Code, and
The 2020 ruling is from something else.
And then like the ruling on what can be classified says it takes its definitions from the Fish and Game Code. So under the Fish and Game Code, you can define a bee as a fish, and then it inherits that definition for the CESA.
Well, I give them a thumbs up for figuring out this loophole. I can't imagine how many documents these guys had to read through. So, thumbs up to that intern who did all of that work.
Yeah, thumbs up to the intern. Yeah, I can't wait to see what animal becomes different. I can't wait to see what code they change to make cats unicorns later. That's the one. That's the court case I'm waiting for.
Okay, so the comments of this article give a little bit more clarification. There was a group that started to work to list 4 species of native bumblebees as endangered under the CESA. And they began the listing process in 2019. They were sued by a consortium of large-scale industrial agricultural interests, and that's what started the 2020 ruling that they couldn't list invertebrates. And so then the commission decided to figure out how to redefine a bee as a fish after a couple beers, and therefore did this because there's like a lot of pesticides and stuff that are being shown to be bad for bees, and that's probably why the agricultural
that makes
interests
sense.
are like that.
Well, yeah, because they're on their way to extinction. I keep hearing that all the time.
Well, I'd say good for them. Good for them. Good job,
That's
bees.
the buzz around the hive, anyway.
Well, something that a bee though can't do is fly at 100 miles an hour and catch a basketball, which apparently you can now. Have you ever been so bad at basketball that you were like, why doesn't the hoop just move to make sure that I hit every single shot?
To accommodate me?
Yes. Well,
I think
you
that all
can
the
now
time.
have that. That now
What?
exists. Yes. An inventor, Mr. Shane Whiten, apparently wanted to avoid having to practice basketball. Just who doesn't? And so instead of getting better and practicing, he developed a high-tech basketball hoop that is on a set of pulleys and strings and cables that uses some AI to track and move itself to make sure it always catches the ball. And the impressive part is this basketball hoop moves at around 100 miles an hour.
Oh my god.
So if you have the
stuff made here.
Yep, stuff made here. If you have the video or the GIF running on the website, you can kind of see, it's in slow-mo, and then it will do full speed, and it's like, holy shit. It's like you blink and it's gone.
So that's slow motion.
That's real speed. Yep.
Oh, figure it out. Got it.
I mean, this is honestly, I'm pretty impressed. I really don't care about the tracking so much as just the moving of the backboard. This is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed.
I noticed that they're not using a regulation basketball.
Or hoop.
You know what I want? I
What?
want. What's that YouTuber that I really like that makes shitty stuff?
He built wife mode into it again. he always
Is
puts
it
in a
Jonathan
thing that's
Green?
It's called wife mode, and in wife mode, it always makes his wife miss, no matter what they're doing. He's like, "Oh, but don't worry, I was able
What
to
the hell's
program
that
wife
dude's
mode."
name?
Which
Wife,
dude are you
his wife,
talking
like,
about?
is totally in on the joke.
Shitty
She always
robot
comes in, she's
guy,
like,
not shitty robot
"Did you make
girl.
Ah,
What's his name? Help me.
I don't know. The only
He made that
the only
stabby
shitty-
robot.
Oh, Michael Reeves.
Michael Reeves, that's what it is.
yeah.
I want him to make his own version of this thing now, even though he kind of already has with the surgery robot. But like this, but not basketball. He chooses like another sport, maybe like
football.
like a bowling ball pin set that always helps you get a strike, and like he just yeets bowling balls at things, and like the stack of pins has to move to like I don't know, pick a sport.
Cricket.
Or maybe he has to move it even faster. It's like he goes to a shooting range, and
archery.
the shooting target
Archery.
moves to make you get a bullseye every time on like a 22 round. He has to move
my
it
God.
like faster than the speed of sound.
What could you even use to track a bullet?
Nothing. It's too fast.
I like the idea of an archery target though. That'd be pretty
Yeah,
good.
I don't know.
You could
Let
actually
him
put
choose.
sensors
He'll come
on-
up with something better than we ever could. But like, do better than this Joker with the basketball hoop that always scores. And like some of the
I
other
give it a
sports have
thumbs up
already
for
been
this.
touched
I like
though.
it.
Like what's his face made the baseball bat that uses starter pistol
Home
rounds
runs every
to
time.
hit home runs. Yeah,
That's the same guy.
That'd be
That's
the
a-
same guy.
Oh, that was the same dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So I know a
He
couple of
also
YouTubers
made
have done it and collabed and stuff.
Yeah.
Is he
He
also the one that did
made-
the golf?
Yeah.
No, that was Mark.
Oh, wait.
That was Rober.
Mark Rober. Yeah.
He made a disc golf thrower.
Mm.
This guy did.
Yeah.
Mark
So yeah,
also did
I want to see Michael
the
Reeves do it.
football.
Michael Reeves loves when people tell him what robots to make.
We just come up with a sport. If you are a CouncilCast listener and you want to see Michael Reeves make a sport robot,
Yeah.
email us at idon'tcare@councilcast.org and we
We have
will
ways
get
to
in
make that
contact with him.
We'll do a collaboration video with him where we sit and we go, "Wow, look at him, he's doing it."
Perfect.
That'd be our contribution.
Uh,
Wait, should we stop making Elon Musk pitches and start pitching to these guys?
Could do that. Can make.
Nobody seems super excited about it, so I guess we won't.
Speaking of, we'll move on to our Elon Musk pitches for the week then.
Oh.
Yeah, buddy.
My pitch for him this week is, and I may have pitched this before, but he should create a CouncilCast topic generator.
Oh, let's see. if
Something
he
that
did.
I can have. It's a little machine that sits on my desk, and I can push a button, and it just like pops up a topic with a full story and a little quick summary, so I don't actually have to read the article.
Matt actually came up with this in episode 61, a pitch idea generator that makes money while you sleep.
I'm a genius.
Mine doesn't make money.
Episode
Oh, that's how you're
122,
differentiating.
Yeah, mine doesn't make money.
I said a better name generator machine that generates full backstories and how that character fits into every story for screenplays. Later, I said a New Year's resolution generator machine, and then later, today's episode, Blaine has a CouncilCast topic generator that doesn't make money. Oh, perfect. It's fun to be able to go back in here and search all this crap. Time capsule. Thumbs up. I like that.
We only have 200 episodes of awesome ideas, so
So many awesome ideas.
I don't think the first ones had ideas on them though.
almost 200 episodes. Then how about that?
Yeah, where were we at?
I would like Elon Musk to figure out a way to bring Internet Explorer back.
Why?
Well, he is the best.
The fuck is wrong with you?
You know what? I still don't understand. So we use Microsoft Dynamics for CRM at work, and for some reason,
Dynamics
it's
is still a thing?
yeah,
Mm.
it still has specific functions that only work in Internet Explorer.
What version of Dynamics do you use?
I don't know, but there are certain things that only work in IE. Like I can't use certain functions, and I can't, for some reason, cannot get it to export anything into Excel in Chrome.
Because there's now a Dynamics 365. I know that.
I don't know. I'd have to look.
It's probably like their 2018 version.
Probably.
Looks like episode 58 was the first time we started writing these pitches down. But I think we had them a few episodes before that. We just didn't write them down.
Oh, that's probably true. All right, so bring Internet Explorer back. I'm gonna thumbs down that one, but
I'm gonna give thumbs up because man, that's my jam. I love getting in there going, man, where are the buttons and why does
Oh.
this suck?
we're on
I miss
Dynamics
that
365, Dave.
Really?
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Good idea.
All right.
If anyone can bring it back, Elon can.
All right. Anybody else
I
got a
would like-
pitch? What's your
Yeah,
pitch?
I'd like to pitch reflatable tires that don't get nails in them. That can't go flat.
So they're reinflatable or never flats? I'm trying to figure that out.
Both.
So
just in case the never
it could
flat
never go
part-
flat, but just in case you can reinflate it.
Yes, that's
Okay.
what I want. It's a double fail safe.
Yeah, I like that idea. I that's like one of my least favorite things to do is have to replace tires. So if I never have to deal with a flat, thumbs up on that. Especially since my car doesn't have a flat, or a spare tire, I should say. Thumbs up on that. All right, Matt, you got a pitch for us this week?
No, I'm working on it still.
Great.
Working on it. All right. Perfect.
It's gonna be epic when he does.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and call this council meeting adjourned. Thank you all for listening, as we do record this podcast live Tuesday nights on YouTube. And if you liked what you saw and want to check out all of our past episodes, you can go to councilcast.org. If you have a topic you would like us to make a decision on, you can email us at idon'tcare@councilcast.org. Connect with us on Twitter at RealCouncilCast, or check out our Reddit at /CouncilCast. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
I think I'm banned from CouncilCast.